All right, you had a little bit of an extended week. Was that important to help get guys healthy after what turned out to be a really physical game at Cal?
Well, I hope so. We're still early here. We did get an extra practice in yesterday, so that was good to have, and good to get a head start on a huge game with Notre Dame coming up. But we're still pretty banged up, so we're going to have a lot of guys step up.
What does Notre Dame week mean to you?
You know, we got to be careful we don't build it up too much. You know, obviously it's a huge game, historic rivalry, probably the best rivalry in all of college football out of conference. And but we got to make sure that we don't build up too much and then you put too much pressure on a young team. You know, as we know, we got a lot of young players playing for us, and we got to keep them comfortable and keep them relaxed so that they can go in and play really well and not spend too much time worrying about history.
Yeah, so you keep the history out of it this week and take it's just another game approach with the team?
Yeah, we do, because that's the only way to do it. You know, if you go through all the other stuff and all the speakers come in and all that stuff, and all of a sudden the players, that creates an added pressure. You know, and we were here before, started a great streak in this thing, and, you know, never really discussed that. We did the first year, and then we lost, and then we stopped doing that. So, you know, it's another game from our approach, but obviously we know that it's a lot bigger than that.
Yeah, when you look at your record, when you look back at a season, obviously like last season, do you measure your record against Notre Dame and UCLA separately from the other games?
Well, in general, that's why that game was so hard, you know, because it had been so many years of all the players and coaches to get that streak to where it was, and then really to just hand the game away. You know, as we all remember, the ball's in our hands, we're going to walk in the end zone, win the game, and then, you know, for all those years and all that hard work to come down to that, you know, it was very hard to deal with.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the last time you were in South Bend, you must have pretty good memories. It was that incredible game. Just do you have sort of good mojo going back for the first time since that, you know, incredible night and atmosphere?
Well, I don't know about that, but it was a great night, and it was exciting, and, you know, to be backed up on the fourth down, and then the audible happened. It was just stuff that just usually doesn't happen, you know, in 1 second on the play clock, and then to go down for the push and everything. It was really neat, and it was really to see those players, to see Matt Leinart crying in the locker room. I mean, it was emotional to see how much that meant to those guys.
Notre Dame has been sort of searching for a coach for a while. They haven't been able to stick with one for very long. What has Brian Kelly done well early in his tenure to get that program in the right direction?
Well, he's recruiting really well, first off. You know, they did a good job. Now, they have some great juniors and seniors that you're going to see a bunch of, you know. A bunch of their star players are older guys, but he's recruited really well. We've felt his presence nationally, you know, where there were some years where we didn't really feel that. And so that's the first thing that he's doing, because it's about players, first off. And then second of all, they're coached really well. They don't do a lot of stuff. They're not very complicated on offense and defense. They're kind of simple in a way, but they're really, really good at it. They're coached really well, very detailed, and their players play really hard, especially on defense.
You've hit a run of big receivers. Jerron Kreiner in Arizona, Keenan Allen last week. Compare Michael Floyd and what you're going to face this week to those two guys.
Well, he's as good as anybody in the country, and he can do it all, like those guys. You know, he's big, but he's fast, and makes people miss and runs people over, and very physical. And so, you know, he's a great player. He'll be one of the top picks in the draft. I don't know why he didn't go out a year ago.
Is it? They would probably be undefeated if it wasn't for turnover margin. Are there opportunities that you see to try and make their young quarterback, Tommy Rees, uncomfortable? Is that how you get them into turnovers? Is that how people have done it?
Well, I thought our defense did a great job last year. You know, the 4 turnovers last year versus them, and if we did anything on offense, we win the game. You know, so our defense played really well. And then we saw that early in the year. But now Tommy's getting better. He's getting more comfortable like quarterbacks do, and he's not turning the ball over near as much. You're right. They should be undefeated. I mean, they're seconds away from being undefeated. I mean, they're in Michigan dominating that game, you know, and then it gets screwed up at the end. And very easily without the turnovers, you know, they beat South Florida, and they're undefeated and top 5 team in the country. So this is a really, really good team. Is
there such thing as turnover momentum? Obviously, there was a drought at the start of the season for your defense, and then last week they got a couple, and then this past game they got a bunch. Do you feel that there are opportunities now, and this defense is hungry for the ball?
Yeah, I think so. You know, we're on the right path. You know, we went from not very many to 2 to 5, and so let's just keep moving that direction. Maybe we'll get 7 this week.
Another great middle linebacker. You were extremely complimentary of Vontaze Burfict going into the ASU game. Monte Teo is another one who could be projected as a high draft pick. How do you compare the two? They're pretty different, aren't they?
Yeah, he's even better. You know, this is probably the best one in the country that we're getting ready to play. He's so physical, and he brings it every single snap. You know, this guy's a great player, and very dominant. You know, he sets the tempo for their whole day. The Mike linebacker sets your defense. It's the personality of your defense, and they feed off of him. And he's a dominant player.
Scheme-wise, what do you see from them defensively?
What we talked about, they don't do a ton of stuff. They're going to line up. You're going to know where they're at, but they're going to come straight ahead, and they're going to come straight ahead really fast and really physical.
In looking at your game, if Mark Tyler potentially can't go, how confident are you in Curtis McNeil and getting his shot as potentially the starting running back?
We have great confidence in Curtis. You know, we showed it in that game. He showed us. You know, played really well, and he's been banged up throughout the year, and he'll even be better once he eventually gets healthy.
George Farmer showed his incredible athleticism, but obviously new to the position. Are you worried about that in that atmosphere? Do you protect him this week, or is he another guy that you want to take to the next step?
Well, the next step is on the road. We've talked about this early in the year. When you're a freshman or a newcomer, you haven't played at all, your first thing is playing in general. And so you get that out of your system. Then he went on the road. And now he's got to go on the road. And it's kind of even harder because that was almost a neutral site on the road. You know, our fans did a great job there. We kind of felt like it was half and half. And now it's not going to be half and half. So it's the next step for him. And, he'll get his opportunities.
Yeah, this is got to be the most difficult atmosphere that the team has faced in the first 3 road games. Are they prepared for it? Do you feel confident that they have learned from those ASU mistakes and that that this team will be ready to play their best game on Saturday?
Well, I think it'll be similar to Arizona State. It's going to be a little bit more energy because of the first night game in 22 years and everything they put into it, putting the bye before it, and their focus on this is their Super Bowl and everything. So it's going to be an electric atmosphere, and we're excited to be part of it.
All right. Good luck this week, Coach. Thanks.
Thank you.